Hello. Hello, everyone. Sorry about the delay there. For some reason, it wasn't streaming, but we're here now. And there's a few of you in. So, bless. Happy Thursday. I am covering today. Normally, I do the Tuesday morning energizing power. So, this is a nice little switch up. And I think very suiting for the gray day that is today. So it's perfect day for a gentle flow. You don't need any props necessarily for the class, but if you did want to grab a bolster, if you have one, or anything that is going to kind of assist you for optimal comfort, then feel free to grab that now. So pillows, blankets, whatever, maybe just keep them handy in case you want to use them. But if not, we are going to start really gently on our backs so we can find a nice, comfortable position laying down. Maybe you'd like to lay down as you normally Shavasana, so maybe having the legs spread out nice and wide. Or maybe it might feel a bit nicer to have your knees up. Take a second here and maybe just have a little play around with what comfort looks like and feels like for you today. I want to release my lower back a little bit, so I'm going to have my knees up. You feel free to do whatever suits you today. Bring the eyes down to a close if they're not already. And really allowing yourself to settle into a nice, gentle afternoon practice. Feel free if you'd like to maybe place one hand on your stomach and one hand on your chest. Might help you have a better sense of your breath as we begin to bring our attention to it. Starting really gentle, so not adding any control or anything to the breath, but just paying attention to the rise and fall of the chest, knowing that that's the direct result of our inhalations and our exhalations. We're going to be here for a few moments, so really try to use this time to settle in, maybe to slow down if you've had a busy day. And we're just going to try and allow some stillness to enter our mind, just as it's entered our physical body now. In the next few moments, you can start to deepen the breath. Don't need to change anything else about the way you're currently positioned. The only thing we're going to change is just deepening the breath. Feeling free to do it in a count if that feels comfortable for you. Or just paying attention and noticing that the depth is changing. Only bit of control we'll add here is just trying to exhale for as long as you're inhaling. Having nice little harmony between the inhales and the exhales. So we're going to be here for just a few more moments, and I want to welcome you to use these next few moments to set a dedication or maybe set an intention for your practice if you'd like to do so. Feeling free to extend that dedication out, maybe for the rest of your day or your week or your month. It's going to take just 2 more breaths here. And then when we're ready, we can keep the eyes closed. I'm going to offer up the opportunity to keep your eyes closed for most of this practice. Feeling free to gently begin to roll yourself up directly into a boat pose. Feeling free to grab hold of the hamstrings here, or maybe even hug in the hamstrings, giving yourself a nice squeeze, having a generous bend at the knees. We'll be here just for a moment, coming into a really small balance. And then when we're ready, we're going to release the hands and find ourselves cross-legged. I'm going to face the opposite way, actually. If cross-legged is super uncomfortable for you, feel free to extend the legs out if you need. But if not, we're going to try and stay in some version of cross-legged. From here, we're going to just gently begin a neck stretch, dropping our right ear to our right shoulder, and really slowly opening up through the throat, bringing that left ear to left shoulder, and then extending through the back of the neck, rolling the right ear through the front, all the way back to the right shoulder. We're going to do this one more time, really, really slow movement, so we can feel every single part of our neck, part of our upper back. You can see what's being pulled at here. Really slow, thoughtful movements. Seeing if we can stay sitting up tall, whether we're cross-legged or not. When that right ear comes back to the right shoulder for that second time, we'll come back to a neutral spine, and then begin again the same on the left. So left ear to left shoulder. Rounding the neck, right ear to right shoulder, opening up through the throat. Bringing that right ear to right shoulder, and then rounding, extending again through the back of the neck, dropping the head down, and continuing that circle nice and slow one last time. Really opening up through the throat here, really stretching out through the neck, and then coming back to neutral. Again, feel free to keep the eyes closed if you can follow my vocals. Where I just rest the left hand to the mat or on the floor just outside the mat, stretching it out as far as we can without compromising the straightness of our spine. And we're going to inhale, raising our right hand up, and gently grabbing the left side of our head and just pulling it over to the right side. So we're stretching out the whole left side of the neck. Pulling as gently or as heavy as you'd like. And then releasing that right hand, dropping it to the right side and lifting up with the left. Grabbing the right side of the head gently or maybe a bit more intensely, and beginning your pull, feeling that stretch really deeply on the right side of the neck. Holding just for one more breath. And we'll release both hands down. Take one nice big inhale, arms are going to come up. And we're going to exhale, placing the hands on the mat in front of us, rolling over the knees or just bringing your legs to the side if you weren't cross-legged, finding yourself in a nice tabletop position. Finding our tabletop, we can tuck the toes if we feel we need a bit of support with balance, or we can keep the toes untucked as we work our way through some really gentle cat-cows. Feel free to maybe double fold your mat or put something underneath your knees if you need it to be more gentle. If not, we're going to start nice and strong in the shoulders. And on our inhale, we're going to lift the head, drop the stomach, lift the glutes. And for our entire exhale, we're going to pull the spine up, tucking the chin into the chest, rounding up as much as we can. Inhale, raising up. We're going to do these 3 times in our own breath. We're going to make our breath nice and long and thoughtful, so this movement will be quite slow. And then when we are finished our third, then we'll meet back in that tabletop together. Checking your alignment if you need to in that tabletop, having your wrists under the shoulders and knees under the hips. And then just take any additional movements that the body is calling for right now. Rounding out on the spine, maybe waking up more through the neck, more through the hips. Maybe rotating between child's pose, or any other stretch that feels good. And then again, we'll find that nice tabletop together in our own time. Nice. Finding ourselves here, we're just gonna walk the hands out and begin to drop the chest down to the ground, melting down. This might feel quite intense, and maybe the chest doesn't make it. So maybe we're actually on the forearms, having our hips and knees in line, or maybe our chin and our chest are both on the mat. Extending the arms out nice and long. We'll be here for about 4 deep in those. Feeling free to widen the shoulders if this is a bit tight. Taking just one last breath here. Then we're going to come up onto the hands and walk them directly back to where we were. And then open up again through the shoulders. We can use our inhale to sweep our right hand up. And exhale to roll back, sitting the hips a little bit on the heels. Inhale all the way back. So really big circular motion, activating the hips as we go. On our third one, instead of coming back up to round, we're going to thread that right hand through the left, dropping the right cheek on the mat. Option again here to tuck the toes if we need a bit of extra support with balance. Feeling free as well to keep the eyes closed, even this far in. Feeling free to spend our next 3 breaths if we'd like, extending the left arm out, getting a bit of extra stretch for our shoulders. And guys holding just for one last breath. And if our left hand's extended, we'll bring it back and use it to lift the right hand all the way up. One nice long big stretch. Exhale that right hand back down. Preparing to do the same on our left. We'll inhale, sweep the left arm up. Exhale, bring the hips to the heels, making this as big of a movement as we can. Super open through the shoulders, open through the chest. And on your third circle, feel free to thread that left hand through the right, dropping that left cheek down. Having our hips nice and tall in the air here. We'll spend our first 3 breaths as we are. Opening to the shoulder. And then if we wish, we can spend the next 3 breaths crawling that right hand all the way forward. Nice, guys, taking your last breath. Crawling that right hand back if it's extended. And then using it to lift all the way up. Taking one big stretch to that left side. And exhale that left hand down. We're going to walk ourselves back into that puppy pose. See if we've got any more movement in the shoulders. We might not, but we might feel a little bit more loose. Maybe we can get the chest a little closer to the ground. Standing nice and long through the arms. Holding for 5 breaths this time. We can keep our hips raised. And using each exhale to melt the heart a little closer to the mat. Instead, getting ready to take our last breath. And we're going to slide forward, lifting on the elbows. And lowering all the way down. Finding ourselves in our Sphinx pose. Adjusting our elbows to underneath our shoulders. And we're going to back bend. If this feels like a really deep back bend, feel free to extend the arms out a little bit longer so we're not so high off the mat. Wherever you are, we're going to keep it gentle, but make this an active posture. So we still want to pull back with the chest, with the collarbone, and we still want to pull forward with the fingers. Trying to find a little bit of space in the lower spine here, and we're nice and strong through the shoulders. Taking just one more breath here. Again, it's as active or inactive as you'd like. And we're going to lower the whole body down, bringing the face down to the mat. And we're going to extend our arms out into a T shape. Bringing that chin on the ground first. And then we're going to slide the hands in close to the mat. Lifting from the elbows. So the elbows are facing the roof. And the fingertips are hoisted up kind of on an angle away from the mat. We use our next breath to inhale, raising up through the shoulders so the chin is kind of tucked until we reach to our height. That's going to look different for everyone. When you find your height in your back bend, we're all going to take one deep inhale through the nose. And exhale, side out. Allowing the stomach to get closer to the mat there with the exhale. Using our next inhale here through the nose. In our exhale, we're going to drop the right shoulder into the mat and bring the gaze over to the left. The shoulder might not reach the mat. That's all right. Use your inhale to bring you back. And your exhale to drop the shoulder in. Doing just one more round on each side. Your inhale will lift you. And your exhale will lower you, going nice and slow through this movement. Allowing the neck some action there, so bringing the neck always to the direction of the opposite shoulder. And then on our last one, we're going to drop the chin down. Arms stay as they are. We're going to take our next inhale, bring the chin tucked super into the chest here until we reach our height. And then we're going to release the chin and open up fully through the throat. And exhale, really slow roll all the way down to the mat. From here, we're going to bring our hands to our shoulders, bring the elbows in nice and tight. We're going to roll ourselves up and directly back into the child's pose. Having nice wide hips here and bringing our forehead down to the mat. Bringing the forehead down to the mat doesn't necessarily mean it reaches the mat, but this is just the direction that we're going in. If you've been to my classes before, you've probably heard me say countless times that child's pose, though it's a resting pose, is definitely not restful or comfortable for everyone. So if you don't feel like you're doing it wrong, if it isn't comfortable, if your hips don't reach your heels, anything like that. It's a shape like any other. It takes a bit of time to find comfort in it. Going to be in your child's pose just for one more breath. And then from here, we're going to come back into our tabletop. And right away, we're going to tuck our toes. And we're going to walk really low to the front of the mat until we find ourselves in a forward fold. For our first forward fold, maybe feel free to take a super generous bend in the knees if that feels good. Maybe grab opposite elbows. Maybe take a little sway side to side. Do whatever works for you. We'll be here for just 2 more breaths. Releasing fully in this forward fold, so let the neck be really loose. And then when we're ready, we're going to inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. And the hands are going to meet. Interlacing the hands, we're going to take this one big stretch to the left side. Stretching as deep as you'd like. And back to neutral. And taking a nice deep stretch through the right side. Coming back up through center. Then release the hands once, lifting up, maybe coming up onto the tippy toes. And exhale, dropping the heels down. Take a nice slow forward fold with hands to the mat. If your hands don't reach the mat with straight legs, then definitely feel free to take that bend. As we inhale, halfway lift for flat back. And exhale, fold. From here, everyone can take a bend in the knees. And we'll step the left leg back, drop the knee. Untuck the toe and sweep both hands up, finding our lunge first. So finding our shape here, taking one big stretch through the side body. And exhale, bending really deep as you'd like, into that right knee. Open through the hips, getting a nice quad stretch here on that left side as well, depending on how deep you're stretching. Holding here for 3 breaths, really getting that pelvis super close to the ground. Gazing up at the roof. And our next breath, we're going to bring the left hand down, twisting the chest out to the right side for a nice, easy twist. Gazing up at this right hand for one last breath, maybe taking a deep stretch, one last deep stretch into that knee. And then bringing that hand down, tucking the back toe, and bring it all the way forward to meet the front foot. Inhale, sweeping the hands all the way up. Exhale, forward fold all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. And exhale, folding all the way down, bending the knees, stepping your right leg back, dropping the knee, untucking the toe. And inhale for your sweep up. Staying here just for a breath, finding our stretch in our side body. And then we exhale, bending as deep as we wish. Maybe we would like to stay here the whole time. That's totally fine. Or maybe you want to bend deep. Bring your pelvis as close to the floor as you can, stretching through that right quad if that's what we're looking for. Taking one last breath. And then bringing our right hand down. Left hand stays up as we twist over to the left side. Stretching as much as we can through this left hand. And just taking one last breath. And then we're going to bring that left hand all the way down, tucking into the back foot, and bring it all the way forward to the middle. Inhale, sweeping hands all the way up. Exhale, all the way down, forward fold. Inhale, lifting up, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. So we're going to step the left foot back, the right foot back. So we're going to plank just for a moment. Then we're going to drop the knees. Bringing the left leg out to the left side. Left hand is going to come slightly in the middle. And we're going to extend out with the right leg and extend up with the right hand. Holding here just for one breath, lifting as much as we can to the side body. And exhale, bring that right hand all the way forward over the head. See if we can keep the sole of the right foot on the mat. Stretching through, holding just for one more breath. When we're ready, we're either going to keep the right hand lifted for 3 more breaths, or we're going to grab hold of that right foot. Maybe just staying here, keeping a little tiny push forward the pelvis, or maybe opening up into the back end. Holding just for one more breath wherever you are. We're all going to take the same nice long expansion back where we were, and then round the chest back out to the mat. Bring both knees in, and right away twisting the right knee out to the right side. Right hand comes into the middle. Left arm and leg extend out. Holding here for 2 breaths, just finding that space in the body. See if we can get the sole of the left foot on the mat. And then taking your extension out, left hand all the way up overhead. Stretching the whole side body. You might feel that particularly intensely through the obliques and starting from the hip bone on the left side. Holding for 2 more breaths, nice big stretch. And then either finding our balance here with his left arm lifted, or taking another little balance of maybe a back bend by grabbing hold of that left foot. Either way, we're moving the hips a little forward in space here. Holding for one last breath. And then we all take that same expansion all the way out. And then dropping the chest down, bringing both knees in, bringing both hands in. Bring our hips to our heels here. We're going to take one inhale, arms up. And exhale, bring the hands to interlace in front. We're just going to take a little wrist stretch here. Rotating the wrists out. Maybe clockwise and counterclockwise, stretching out as you need. You always kind of feel what needs to be stretched after you've just used them. It's quite nice to do just after you've started. Taking your last movements in your wrist stretches, and we'll make our way back into our tabletop, tuck our toes. And we're going to raise the hips all the way up, nice and slow, into our first downward facing dog. Taking a few moments here to walk your dog, pedal your feet, take any movements that are necessary. Maybe keep our knees bent for this first downward dog if that feels super good. Bring our chest closer down to the mat. And pushing those heels closer and closer to the ground, whether the knees are bent or straight. Taking one last breath here, we're going to lift up with our right leg, bending in our right knee, bringing that right foot over to the left glute, and we're just going to round out. That'd be really big circles if you want more of a stretch, or it could be a nice little gentle hip opener, making little rounds of circles if you need. Holding just for one more breath in this movement. And then we're going to bring that right all the way forward in between the hands. Staying in your nice runner's lunge, and hold here just for a breath, stretching out anywhere that needs to be stretched out. The heel of the back foot is lifted. Then we're going to inhale both arms up, finding our crescent lunge just for one breath. And then opening up into a nice warrior two. Again, feeling free to go quite gentle here. Don't need to be in your necessary full extension. We're going to move through a little bit of a breathy movement here between warrior two, reverse warrior, and side angle. We're going to inhale for our preparation. We're going to exhale, reverse the warrior for our transition. Taking an inhale here. And exhale directly into a side angle. Inhale again, prepare. And exhale, transition. So we're going to do this 3 times. Really nice breathy movement, moving with your breath. So inhale to prepare you. Exhale, transition to reverse warrior. We're here just for that one breath. And then we exhale into the side angle. Nice, guys. We're going to do 2 more in your own breath. Feeling free as well to close the eyes if that feels good here. You can maintain your balance. I always feel like it's quite a nice thing to do. It give you a deeper sense of spatial awareness. We're all going to be in that last warrior two together, so take your time. When you're here, we're going to inhale, straighten through that front leg. Pivot the right foot to the left edge of the mat, and exhale down to a nice wide leg forward fold. Bringing the hands down to the mat here, wherever you are. If that means you need to bend in your knees to get closer, feel free to do that. We want to have 4 nice points of contact between our body and the mat, allowing ourselves to be really heavy. Taking this forward fold as deep as you'd want. You can definitely go much deeper usually when the legs are wide as opposed to when they're close together, so feeling free to find this deep stretch, releasing the lower spine. And then we're going to take just a couple of sways side to side here in the knees and in the elbows. This could be a really big movement or it could be a really small movement depending on what feels good for you. But we just want a little wave-like motion here. And then we'll find our stillness together. We're going to inhale, sweep the arms up through center. And exhale, pivoting both feet back to the front. Finding that lunge once again. And exhale, folding over that right leg. Stepping the right foot back. And lowering down our knees. Lowering down our chest and chin for our birthing asana. Sliding forward for our baby cobra. Maybe taking a shoulder roll here if that feels good. And then exhale, finding our way up into our downward facing dog. We're going to take 2 cleansing breaths in this down dog here. Inhaling through the nose and sighing out through the mouth. And again, inhale through the nose. And sigh it out. Like away, lifting that left leg up, bending in that left knee. And beginning your nice circles. Again, feeling free to make this as big or as small of a movement as you'd like. We'll be here for 2 more breaths. Maybe your circles are getting bigger with time, maybe they're getting smaller, maybe they're staying the same. And when you're ready, we're going to bring that left knee all the way to the front of the mat. Feel free to pick your leg up if it doesn't quite make it. Finding our runner's lunge, your hands are still on the ground. Nice deep bend in this front knee. Then we'll inhale, arms all the way up. Just for one more breath. And then lifting ourselves into our warrior two for that nice breathy little sequence on this side. Taking one breath to find our balance, and again, feeling free to close your eyes if you wish. I'll guide us through this first one, and we'll do the other three on our own. Inhaling to prepare. And exhaling to reverse your warrior. Inhaling to prepare. Exhaling to lead you into. Inhaling here. Exhale back to warrior two. Feeling free to do three more on your own. As gentle or as kind of deep as a movie. This is your practice, completely up to you. But just keeping in mind that for this little bit, our inhale is always going to prepare us. And our exhale is always going to transition us, allowing us to really feel the breath guide the body. And we'll all meet in that warrior two together whenever we're ready. And when we're here, we'll inhale, straightening up through both legs. Pivoting that left foot to the right edge of the mat. And exhale, take that same deep forward fold. This time on the opposite edge of the mat. This time in our forward fold, we're going to walk our hands behind, in between the legs. Again, if the hands don't reach, that means we're taking a nice deep bend, allowing us to get a little closer to the mat. Allowing us to stretch out for the hamstrings. And again, allowing the head and neck to be super heavy. We know the head is heavy when the crown of the head is facing the floor. Anything else is having a hold or having control of the neck. We'll try and get rid of that just for a moment. And then our next inhale, we're going to bring the hands all the way back where they came. Inhale, arms up through center. And exhale, rotating us back to that lunge, taking that deep bend in the knee. Exhale, both hands down. Stepping the left leg back, dropping the knees, lowering down back into a child's pose. Maybe resting the forehead on the mat. Maybe having a play with a different version of child's pose. So maybe having the arms out in front, out the side, maybe in between the knees. Doing whatever feels good for you. It's always quite nice to switch up a child's pose. It usually feels different based on the movement you've just done previously. It's going to take 2 more breaths. And then we're going to roll forward back into our tabletop. Walk the hands slightly forward. Lower down our chest and our chin. Sliding forward for every cobra. Tucking the toes. And rolling our way back up into that downward facing dog. Inhaling deeply through the nose. Exhaling deeply through the nose. From here, we're going to walk our hands to the back of the mat. Finding ourselves in a new forward fold, letting the body be really heavy again. We'll inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, hands in prayer first. We're going to take one deep breath into the nose and out through the mouth. Inhaling together. And sighing out. From here, releasing the hands to the side of the body. And bring the eyes down to the corners. Feet can be slightly apart. Or maybe if you've got the balance with your eyes closed, feel free to bring the feet together. Palms facing out, finding a nice strong mountain pose. Bringing our focus and our awareness back to our breath. Maybe activating our Ujjayi breath if it's in our practice here, creating that slight restriction at the back of the throat. As we gently start to turn everything on in the body. Maybe we start to flex or punch a little bit through the feet, through the ankles, calves. Maybe we lift through the kneecaps. Trying to create a bit of movement for how much kind of pressure and punching that's happening through the body. Feeling how active a pose like this can be, even though we're just standing in one spot. Taking one last breath here. And then gently blinking the eyes open. Bring your hands beside the body with your facing to this. And then we're going to inhale at the same time we lift the arms. We're going to lift our right leg up and open up the right leg to the right side. So really opening through really externally rotating that right foot. And then we're going to bring this right foot into our left leg, finding a tree. Maybe that is at the bottom. Maybe we use our right foot kind of as a kickstand to hold us up, or your calf, or maybe we use our hand to lace that foot right in between the left leg. Finding our tree, we're going to lift our hands up. We're going to hold here for about 8 breaths, trying to find the gentle stability in this left leg, trying to find something to focus on that's unwavering. Nice strong stretch to the side body. Making sure we're not holding our breath in the balance. We're going to inhale, stretch up as much as we can. We're going to exhale, disconnect the foot exactly as it was. Take one more inhale, lifting up with the foot, lifting up with the hands. And exhale, lowering the hands, lowering the foot at the same time, coming back into that forward fold. Deeply resting this forward fold here as much as we can. So maybe bend knees. And then we'll inhale, sweep the arms all the way back up. Exhale, hands in prayer back where we started. On the opposite leg here, we're going to inhale, lift the hands and lift the left leg. Take your breath at the top and use your exhale to open up that left leg to the left side. Finding as much rotation as you can there. And then using your next breath to connect the left foot somewhere on the right leg. So maybe again, it's a little kickstand at the bottom of the leg, maybe it's on the calf. When you find where you're going to stay, feel free to activate your arms in any other way that's comfortable. For me, I'm going to bring my arms in prayer. You want to have them lifted in your V, kind of that full expression of a tree, or maybe cactus, having a bending movement. Feel free to do whatever you'd like, whatever's going to encourage that best balance. And we'll take about 5 more breaths. Really trying to lift tall through this right kneecap. As always, embracing any wobbles that we might have. And finding something to focus our attention on. Nice, guys, holding for one last breath. And we're going to disconnect that foot, lift the arms up one last time. Stretching up as much as we can. And exhale, lowering the left leg, lowering your hands all at the same time. Nice, guys. Inhaling once, halfway lift for flat back. And exhale, fold. This time we're going to heel toward the feet further apart at the back of the mat. We're going to place our right hand in the middle. We're trying to keep our legs somewhat straight here, so feel free to use your fingertips to pop up. And we're going to lift up through the left side. If it's more comfortable to take a bend in the right knee to encourage that twist, feel free. Trying to keep the left leg straight here, stretching out for the whole length of that left side. Maybe in your twist, you want to keep that hand lifted, or maybe you want to spend a couple of breaths taking a bind, bringing that left hand somewhere on the right leg. Opening that chest out to the left side, take 2 breaths. Then release the bind if you have it. You can all take one nice long stretch up. And exhale, left hand down. Right hand will extend right up. Again, option to take a bend into the left knee. Stretching through the right if we'd like. And option to in that bind. These guys are going to hold for 2 more breaths. And 1 more breath. Release your bind if you have it, and gently take one last stretch up. Exhale, right hand all the way down. Inhale, both hands all the way up. Maybe take a back bend here. Exhale, hands are going to come in prayer. When hands get to your heart space, we're going to start to bend in the knees. Finding ourselves seated in a nice Vipassana squat at the back of the mat. So our bum is lifted. We're nice and kind of stern to the back. Maybe our heels are lifted. We're going to take just a couple of little sways side to side here. So that might look like twisting on the ankles, or that might look like just hovering side to side. Depends how much movement you'd like to have in your ankles, so up to you. Putting the elbows inside the knees here to open up just a little bit more. Holding for one last breath. And we're going to bring the hands, walk them forward. Drop the knees in towards each other. And bring the feet in together. Bring our hips back to our heels. Find ourselves seated at the back of the mat. Option to stay here for this next little bit, or option to tuck your toes if you want a bit of a active toe stretch. I'm not going to choose that option actually, now that I've just done it. Sorry. But feel free to do it whatever you'd like. The toe stretch is really nice if you'd like it. We're going to take one inhale, lift both arms all the way up. We're going to exhale, dropping the right hand down beside the back and dropping the left arm up the back. I'm going to show it like this kind of shape. Hands don't have to touch. Maybe they do, but maybe they're quite far apart. That's totally fine wherever they are. We're going to lift both forward, just one for a tiny little forward fold. And then we're going to exhale, try and really open up through the spine. Trying to make sure our head is not being kind of trapped by our elbow, opening up into whatever our back bend looks like. Holding just for one more breath. And then coming back to neutral, extending both arms out. Deep inhale, and exhale, swap sides. So right elbow bends at the top, left elbow bends at the bottom. Maybe we have hold of our hands, maybe we don't. You probably find that one side is much more accessible than the other. For me, that's this side. I can reach with my right hand when the right hand is up, and when the left hand is up, I find it quite difficult. So maybe that's the case for you as well. We'll take one little tiny forward fold, just stretching the top of the spine. And then exhale, take your back bend, opening up as much as you can. Holding just for one breath. And coming back through neutral, releasing both hands all the way open, extending them out behind the body. And exhale, wrapping them in as if we're doing cat-cow. And we're going to bring the right elbow on top of the left. Find our shoulders with both hands. So we don't have the whole shoulders. We're pretty loose. We have the very top of our shoulders. We're going to inhale up. And exhale down. Finding a gentle seated cat-cow. Inhale all the way up. And exhale all the way down. Releasing the hands for one really big expansion, opening up the chest as much as possible. Maybe opening through the throat, dropping the head. And exhale, doing that same thing, except for left elbow on top, right on the bottom. Getting ready, taking your inhale to lift up. And your exhale to round through the spine. Inhale, lifting all the way up. As much as you'd like, taking that back bend as deep. Taking one last really deep extension, opening the chest up as much as possible. This time, bring the hands to interlace behind the body. Maybe adding one last back bend to to lift open the chest. Or maybe staying neutral. And then we'll all take a nice forward fold over the knees. Maybe our forward fold is comfortable about here, so almost neutral. Or maybe we rest our forehead on the mat where we're anywhere in between. Either way, trying to lift our hands and our shoulders away from the body. Holding for 3 breaths wherever we are. Nice, guys. And we'll begin a slow lift back up. We'll release the interlace when we get to the top. We're all going to come back to a little tabletop just for a second. If you have your toes tucked, give yourself some little toe taps. I didn't, but I'm taking the toe taps anyways. And we'll walk the hands forward. We're already on the knees, so we're going to lower down the chest and the chin. Sliding up for our baby cobra, elbows in plank. And then roll your way gently up into your downward facing dog. And this guys, from here, we're all going to roll forward, dropping our knees down on the ground. We're just going to swing them to the left-hand side, open ourselves up right back into a boat. And hold here just for 3 breaths. And for 2 breaths. In our next breath, we're going to roll ourselves all the way down to the mat. I'm going to slide myself up. Feel free to adjust as you need. Bring yourself in for a nice squeeze here. And we're going to drop both the feet on the ground, knees facing up. From here, we're going to lift up with our right leg. We're going to be opening our legs all the way out as far as we can. So for some of us, that might look like having a bend in the knee and opening up to the right side. For others, it may look like grabbing our toe, finding any kind of extension, and then beginning your open up. So pick whatever version works for you. I'm going to just making a nice long shape with your opposite arm, just to give you, to space you out properly. So we start with lifting that right foot, flexing in that foot. And then we move from here, either to finding our bend, our toe. And then when we're ready, we're going to try and keep both hips on the ground as we open up as much as possible to the right side. Try and stay flat on the back here so we're not rolling over. Maybe that means our foot is hovering, my foot's hovering on this side. Maybe we have a bent leg, maybe we have straight. We'll be here for a few moments, seeing if we can exhale and allow gravity to drag this foot a little closer to the ground. So we can just one last breath here, bringing our bent or our straight leg off. And we're going to connect that right ankle with the left thigh, finding that little figure four. You can bring both hands in beside the body. Taking one breath in, and one sigh out. We'll use our next breath to begin a little bridge in this figure four. So we can inhale through the nose. And exhale, we're going to peel the body off the mat, lifting the hips, the glutes, lower back, middle back, and upper back. Lifting only as high as we want, keeping a flex in that right foot to protect the knee. And we're just here for one more breath. And we'll begin our really slow roll down. Nice and slow and thoughtful movement. And when the whole body's on the ground, we're going to lift the left leg up. And we're going to use our hands to grab either the hamstrings on the left side or the shins on the left side. And just pull both legs closer to the body. Feel free to be flexing through both feet here. And feel free to already start to bring the eyes down to a close if that's comfortable for you. Just taking one last breath in a stretch. And we'll release our hands, release the left foot. Take one final stretch up with that right leg, flexing in that right foot. And bringing the knee to the roof, the foot to the mat. And we'll start right away on the left side. So we start by lifting the left leg up. And we either take a bend and open to the left, or we keep the leg straight and grab hold of the toe. Of course, if you have straps, you're more than welcome to use those. And then we'll begin opening up to the opposite side. Always having no expectation of the body as a whole, but also as the body as it compares the right to the left side. They're usually quite different. My right foot was hovering off the floor, probably about 4 inches, but my left foot could hit the floor completely fine. I think that's the case, so it's really nice to have no expectation of each side of the body in general, but day to day as well. We're going to hold here for 2 more breaths, trying to get any more opening in the hips, whatever that looks like for us. And when we're ready, we're going to bring our straight leg or our bent leg all the way back up. Release the foot if we've got it, but keep the flex, and we'll bring that left ankle connecting to the right thigh. Bringing both arms in beside the body, and we'll begin our little figure 4 bridge. So you can inhale through the nose, prepare. And exhale, begin to peel ourselves up off the mat. Vertebrae by vertebrae, we move super slow, and we go only as far as we'd like to go. Keeping that flex in the foot, as I say, just to protect through the knee. These guys, we're going to hold just for 2 more breaths. And 1 more breath. We'll begin our really, really slow roll down. Feeling every single body part Every single vertebrae reach the mat. And then the whole body's on the mat. We're going to lift up with the right foot and catch our hamstrings or our shins on our right side with our hands and pull the body closer to the body. Bring those legs into the stomach. And again, maybe already bringing those eyes down to the close. One last breath in the stretch. And we'll release the hands. Release the right foot back down to the mat. Take one last nice long stretch of that left foot. And drop it down. And we're going to take one regular kind of standard bridge. Taking that same inhale to prepare us. We'll inhale through the nose. And we'll exhale, begin our peel up. This time maybe holding just for one breath longer if that feels good. Maybe we tuck our chin into our chest and we lift slightly higher. Getting ready to take our last breath. And then we're going to exhale the body all the way down. Super slow, super thoughtful. It takes a lot of patience to move slowly. That is when the body reaches the mat. We're going to extend the legs out. We're going to flex in both feet and take one nice long stretch, arms overhead. And on our exhale, we're going to bring our hands up overhead and use them to guide us all the way seated. And take one nice deep forward fold. Hands coming anywhere on the body, maybe the calves, maybe the thighs, maybe the feet. Just taking one deep stretch, as deep a forward fold as you'd like to take. Seeing if we can round from the back of the spine rather than the top. We'll give this a bit more light. And then when we're ready, we can come all the way back up to seated. Maybe allowing the hands to gently glide up the legs. And then roll ourselves all the way down to the mat. When the whole body arrives at the mat, we're going to take any last movements that feel good. Maybe an extra twist, maybe an extra stretch, maybe a little windshield wiper of the knees if that feels good. And then when we're ready, we're going to extend the whole body out, feeling free to grab any blankets, pillows, bolsters, anything we grabbed at the very beginning. And we find ourselves resting in our Shavasana. Spreading our legs out far wherever they are. Maybe having our palms facing up, or maybe one hand on the stomach, one hand on the chest. Finding what our resting pose looks like today. And bring the eyes down to a close if they're not already. Bringing ourselves back to that settled state that we started with. And losing any control of the breath that we may have gained throughout the practice. Gently coming back to what our regular rhythm is. Gently catching your thoughts if they've begun to wander. It's usually the case as soon as we come to stillness or as soon as we come to quiet. So honor whatever's come up and just gently set it aside for later. breaths here. I invite you to breathe in deeply through the nose and sigh out together through the mouth. We're just going to do it 2 times, laying on our back. We can finish our current breath. You can inhale through the nose and gently sigh out. Inhaling through the nose and sigh out. Your eyes remaining closed. You can take any last movements that feel good. Starting to maybe add a bit of circling out of the wrists, or maybe a nice big stretch. Maybe a roll onto one side. Take a few breaths, doing whatever it was that we chose. And then we'll find ourselves back into a nice, comfortable seated position. Sitting tall wherever we land. Keeping eyes closed. Allowing every last second for that internal reflection, for that dedication, for that attention. And when we find our seat, we can gently bring our hands in prayer. Loading them up to our third eye chakra, between our eyebrows. And for the rest of the evening, we can welcome in positive thoughts. We can float our hands down to our belly. For the rest of the evening, we can welcome in positive words. And float our hands down to our heart space. For the rest of the evening, welcome in positive interactions, positive feelings and emotions. And lastly, if you wish, we can bow our head, showing gratitude to ourselves and to each other, and for sharing this space. Namaste. Thank you, yogis. Thank you for having me. I know this isn't my regular slot, but I appreciate it. And I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day, your evening rather. It's 6:30. So have the best time, and I will see you soon.